Here we go, folks. Thursday, June 6th, the McFarland Lake Fork Daily Rundown. Man, what a day it was. Big fish soiree. First of all, I'd like to apologize about last night. We had rain. I didn't have any audio issues. That's just what happens when it gets rainy and heavy. That pitter-patter on the metal building here, it just makes a lot of noise. I think this summer I'm going to enclose this, just this part of the garage, so that we can have a little bit more private, a little better sound. But I apologize for the bad audio last night. Let's tell you about today. All right, so it's June 6th. The lake is full pool, actually about an inch over pool. Water temperature 81 degrees on launch, 85 coming off the water. I had a full day and an evening twilight. Let's start with a full day. Hammer, 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 hammer. We were all over those fish. Of course, they're fishing for the Skeeter event, so we didn't want to abuse any particular area. But we started out with the Carolina rig, the finesse Carolina rig, and the impact shad on a secondary point in about 10 to 14 feet of water, and we started banging on them right away. Everything we caught was the slots. I would say majority of the fish were between 3 and 5 pounds. We pulled off of that, started looking in the deeper shell beds, throwing the football jig. And that morning bite and the football jig was not happening. It was kind of marginal. So right before lunch, we pulled back into an area that's a little mix of some shell bed and some brush piles and a little bit of trees. And lo and behold, if Chad doesn't catch the first big buster of the day, 7 pound, 14 ounce over. New personal best for Chad. Nice fish. Congratulations. We went in for lunch. Come back out after lunch, and now it's time to put that football jig to work. We found a mega school of biggins. Didn't get those fish to bite yet. They're just kind of showing up to the area, so they're fresh. They will start biting here, so I even got more fish to go to. But where this goes in the afternoon is we work some shell beds. We give them some good information, some waypoints to fish for the Skeeter event. And then we decided, hey, let's do some exploration. Let's go see if we can find something brand spanking new. We'll go to an area that I have not ever spent any time really looking. I've seen all the lake, but an area where we're gonna break this down. So I got in an area where I felt like this could have shell in it, and I started sonar, 2D sonar, and at about 25 feet, I find a definite shell bed. I said, that's a shell bed right there, guys. Let me put the boat up here in 12 feet. I want you to turn around, throw that jig down in there, and we'll find out real quick if it's a shell bed, because you'll feel the clunk clunk from the shells. So my client steps up front, makes that first cast. It hits the bottom. He moves it a foot or two and says, Mike, definitely shell bed. Clunk, clunk, clunk. His buddy Chad again steps up, chucks out there, says, definitely shell bed. Clunk, clunk. Pow! Fish on. Another 5-pounder. We sit there and stroke some fish right there off of that brand new spot. So this was perfect experience for them to see the A, B, C, D, E process that I go through behind the wheel, breaking it down, learning and discovering what's down there, to the pinpoint boat position and the precision cast that gets it done. At that point, we're about done with the full day trip. On that full day trip with the 714, I think our best 5 was probably pushing near 30 pounds. It was a great, great trip. So I load up my evening twilight. I run them down south. I'm trying to spread everybody out because we got a lot of boats here for the Skeeter event. So I'm doing my best to spread everybody out. And I run down south, and we're kind of grinding along, and a lot of pressure, a lot of boats, hard to get on stuff. But I'm showing them the spots, showing them where they need fish. And Casey was a true sport there. He knew he could trust me, even though those fish weren't biting, or even though we couldn't get on the spot. I showed him where they should be, and we finally pull up onto one of my magic spots. I've talked about it before, where I make a V, tell him, you see that? You make a cast and land in the middle of that V and hang on. And so Casey steps up there and throws a jig for a little while. Ain't eating that jig, and he gets the jig stuck. I break the jig off, and while I'm tying him a new one, I said, pick up that 10-inch worm. Pick up that plumb 10-inch worm. Chuck that out there. Lo and behold, if Casey doesn't catch himself an 8 pound, 4 ounce, second over of the day, new PB for Casey. So both my clients today caught new PBs. That was incredible. I was so grateful for that. And what a day of fishing we had. Before I show you the baits real quick that we're fishing again, there was one more really, really unique thing that happened today. During the full day trip, at one point we were making a run to go somewhere new, and I saw Mr. Eddie Garrett. Very, very good Lake Fork guide. He knows where the big girls live. But Eddie's waving me in, waving me, come here, come here. So I go over to see Eddie, and they've got a big one. They've got a 9-pound plus fish, 26-inch over. They had just taken it to the marina. This is a giant, but she won't swim back down. She didn't come out of deep water, that deep of water, where she needed to be fizzed, 18 feet. But she's healthy. Both fins going well. When I put my hand in her mouth, she'd chomp on my hand. She wants to go, but she just can't. She tried. She'd get about a foot down, and she'd come back up. Man, over and over again, she tried. We're trying to save this beautiful fish. And lo and behold, if Mr. Chad says, well, what if I just jump in the water? I'm hot anyways. I'd like to cool off. What if I just jump in the water and take her down? And I said, you know, it'd probably work. Because once you get down 6 to 8 feet, that water compression will help her burp out that gas bubble in her air bladder. And so before you know it, Chad's in the water. Chad's got a hold of that big fish. Chad takes her down, disappears. Chad comes up, and big old fish wasn't with him. Chad saved that big, beautiful fish. Mr. Eddie Garrett, you're a stud. Folks, if you want to get on some big, giant fish, Eddie Garrett is the man. He knows where they live. They had 3 big giants today. 2 of them break off, and that 9+ pound that they landed, he knows where they are too. But kudos to the whole group, and more kudos to Chad for tending to that big old fish. Chad, I hope Mother Nature rewards you this weekend. You deserve to win this thing, bro. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen a client do. Man, nice, very nice. What an awesome day, folks. Incredible. I love this lake. I love the Goat Lake, and it is the greatest lake of all times. There are so many big fish in this lake. So many guides catching these big fish. So many of the public even catching these big fish. You watch and see how many overs are brought in this skeeter event. There ain't no other lake in the world that'll bring this many overs. You're going to see a lot of them. But let's talk about the baits. I'm not going to be too redundant. One of the big overs came on the Impact Shad. Disco green, chartreuse tail, 18-inch leader, finesse style. 15-pound leader line. 15-pound main line, half-ounce weight, 12-pound leader line. That was kind of a war with that big fish. Football jig, we've talked about that before. A lot of the fish, we did catch fish today on the football jig. Good ones, 4 or 5 pounders. They're not really going to do you any good in the skeeter, but you're still waiting for that one big bite. And that football jig and PBJ, 3/4 ounce Santone football jig, PBJ with a rage craw, striking rage craw, green pumpkin. It will get you that big bite. I haven't talked about this a whole lot, but the water temperatures are reaching the 84, 85 degrees, and that's when I go to the worm. So here's what Casey caught his 8.4 on, which is a 5/8 ounce Santone football shaky head. It's a stand-up shaky head, but it's football shape, okay? And that's a 10-inch plum power worm. That's what the biggest fish of the day came on. Folks, if I take my morning trip, my full day trip, combined with my afternoon trip, and I take the best 5 fish of the day, we broke 35 pounds. A 7.14 and an 8.4 anchor, and a whole lot of chunky slots that we caught all day long. So, man, I thank you so much for watching. I'm really, really enthused how this is going out. It's wearing me down, but June will go by. Once June goes by, I won't be doing these full day and twilights, and I probably won't feel so worn down. And I'm really thankful for all the following, all the compliments, all you folks that are booking me. Thank you so much. I really hope that I'm meeting and exceeding your expectations. So I'm Michael McFarland right here at McFarland's Corner, giving you the Lake Fork Daily Rundown. Thank you for watching.